welcome to another episode of Feed the Beast Let's Play with Underscore. Messing around with some new stuff today that's not well documented, so what I want to do is make some of the new farm blocks. These things like the Arboretum and the Logger in Forestry are getting replaced by newer farms, which are referred to as the farm blocks. If you go into NEI and you look up farm, most of what you see is these different farm blocks, but right now when you click on them it doesn't have the recipes in. So I went on YouTube myself, and a guy called Way Too Much Free Time has a nice tutorial on what are all the recipes for these farm blocks. So I would like to try and put some of them together today, but we need a lot of stone bricks apparently in order to put some of these together. Specifically, we need 36 stone bricks. I did make 2 already, so that's 2 less that I don't need to make. And I did go ahead and put together some plans so that I don't have to look them up in any. And most of what we need initially is this farm block, and in order to do this you need a lot of these tin electron tubes. So you need to make those in your thermionic fabricator, which they're not too hard to make. You just need the 7 tin and then the 2 redstone. They're made the same way the other tubes are made. But we do need to make 36 of these. I already have 2, so I'm going to go ahead. It looks like I need some more wood slabs. So I need about 64 wood slabs, right? Will I make it? Oh, I ran out of copper. So I did actually go mining the other day and grab some more copper. So I have some of that. And we just need a couple more. 1, 2. Okay. So we're good on the farm blocks. Now, you can take these farm blocks and you can build a structure that will operate as a farm. It will be recognized as a farm, but in order to get the materials into it and the products out of it, you need to make some of these other things: the gearbox, the hatch, and the valve. The valve inputs water, the gearbox allows you to input power, and the farm hatch allows the products of the farm, the harvested things, to come out. And all those plans are based on the farm block itself. They all require a farm block. So you need to have 36 farm blocks, and then 3 of those are, at least 3 of those are going to be this hatch, the gearbox, and the valve. So all of these require a tin gear. Now, if you look up tin gear in NEI, there's 2 different ways to make it. You can either take an iron ingot and surround it with tin, or you can surround a stone gear with tin, and they look slightly different, but I did check and you can use either of them in any of these plans and it will work. So I just drop one of those, and for this one, let's use that tin gear, and we can get a farm valve that way. And then we need a farm hatch, which requires a trapdoor. And for this one I'll use the other one, and you can see that that still works. And then the third thing that we need is the gearbox, which is going to allow us to input power, and that requires 3 tin gears and just the farm block. So that's done. So we're going to take our 3, and we also need quite a bit of this just regular stone brick. So I've been smelting a lot of cobblestone. All of these require either a stone or a brick or I guess smooth sandstone, chiseled sandstone, any kind of brick block, mossy stone, and supposedly you can mix and match them, but stone brick has been the easiest for me to obtain, so I've just been making them out of stone brick when I've tried to make them. But I do have some more of that over here. I'm not exactly sure how much I'm going to need, so let's make a bunch of it. Where's a good area to set this up? I guess over here would be good. I'd like to build this out a little more. So these farms are slightly smaller than the old farms, but one thing they don't do is they don't place their own blocks anymore. Like you used to be able to just place the arboretum and it would lay out all the hummus it needed once you put the hummus in. The other thing is they're kind of tall. So, for instance, what you need to do is take these things and you need to build a 3 by 3 by 4 high. Oops, glitching into blocks. Oh, there's these. Okay, that's why. 1, 2, 3, and that's 4. So it needs to be this shape but filled in, but I want to put, you know, my hatch somewhere to get stuff out of it, and I want to put my valve and I have been putting the power receptacle on the top in the middle. This middle section isn't used by the farm anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And then you just fill in the rest of it with the other 32 or 33 blocks. And then you see this black band shows up, and that means you've built it correctly. And then you'll see this interface, and this basically tells you there's 4 sides to your farm, and by default each of these 4 sides will grow trees by default. You could put a enhanced circuit card in here with some other tubes in it to make it grow other things like wheat, and you can set it up so that you know, you can put 4 tubes in this thing, so it will set what each of these 4 sides grows. And then your inputs go over here. You need water to put in them, and they're also powered by fertilizer. And then all your outputs show up here if you don't pull them out with the hatch. But basically anywhere you click on this thing is going to put you into that interface, so you don't have to worry about being aligned to one of these blocks or whatever. So then what you need to do is build out these 4 sides, and shift click comes in handy here because anytime you right click on this to try and place a block, you're going to get into that interface. So I've been putting it up at this height so I can walk under it to put other things, but supposedly you can put it on any of these lower 3 levels, and you can come out. You can build this platform as big as you want, but supposedly it will only use 4 away from the actual center unit unless you build it taller. So I'm just going to build this out a little bit. It will use, if you fill in the corners, it will use in a circle that amount of space. So right there. So you just fill it in diagonally, and it will also allow you things to grow in that space as well. I'm not sure yet if you like split the crops among 4 different things, how it divides the corners, but I know that does put soil on them. How far away are we here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, double place. I might actually have enough stone brick to do this. So, where did we miss? Here? Okay, so this is the area that it builds on. Like I said, you can build like a square around this, or build it longer if you want, but it's only going to use up to 4 blocks away, so you don't have to fill it in. Like if you can't use soil or wood or anything here, so if you want a bigger platform, you could always make this outer part out of wood or something like that. So one of the other things that you need is you need to input water into this valve, and power into the top here. So one of the things that I wanted to experiment with is trying to get the redstone conduit to power this thing. Oh, that was random. Is he glitching? No, he's just right there, climbing down the vines. Very interesting. I don't know if I have any extra redstone conduit, but I do have some extra pipes, so we could mess around and try to put some different crops into it. Let's try to find if I have... I'm going to look around for some other things that I need, and then I will come back. Okay, so I have some more items that I need. I need dirt for it to place. I need some power for it, so I'm going to go ahead and place this redstone conduit just to try that out. I know it does work with a gold conductive pipe, but I also want to try this stuff. And I also need to give it water. So I'm going to go ahead and create infinite water source here. And then I have made an aqueous accumulator. Put that there. And put my cobblestone waterproof pipe. And you see it's starting to fill up with water. So the remaining things that we need are just to start up the engine, and we also need to power it with fertilizer. Now I don't know if compost works or not. That's also something I wanted to try with it. In most of the recipes, compost is interchangeable with the fertilizer that you get from the ore. I forget what the name of that ore is. Apatite. Yeah. So I do want to check and see if I can use compost, but I forget where I put my compost. That's not compost, that's mulch. I don't know if I can use mulch or not. There's more mulch. Let's see if we can use mulch. I think we can use mulch to make compost and nothing else. No, it only wants to make hummus from mulch, so hummus and bog earth. So we can't use that. So I guess we need to make some... I was sure I had some somewhere. I need some dirt to do that, which we have plenty of dirt down here. So, I'm not sure if people know this recipe, but 4 wheat around dirt gives you compost. Done. I would like to find a faster way of getting over here if I'm going to leave it over here. So let's see if I can use... Does that make you happy? I don't know. So we do need to power it, so I should have grabbed some water and lava when I was over here, but I did not do that. or not water and lava, biofuel and lava. I need to make a tank for the biofuel, but I have not done that yet. But I do need some lava, so I grab some lava. Okay, so I can put the lava in, and the biomass, and then I need to give it a redstone signal. I'll need 2 of these eventually, so might as well. Heating up, yep. So I did put some dirt in here. Are you happy with the compost or no? It doesn't look like it likes compost. So I may have to go in search of fertilizer in order to get this to work. No fertilizer. Okay, so you cannot use compost. You do need to use the apatite fertilizer. Which it's not going to let us make with anything but apatite. So I have to go mining. Oh, saltpeter. How do we get saltpeter? Oh, from saltpeter. How helpful. I think there's another way to get it, but I'm not sure what it is. Dirt, sand, and saltpeter. Yeah, that's a problem. So we need to find some apatite before this will work. Alright, so yes. Yes. Okay, so I finally found some fertilizer. Just put the fertilizer in there, turn on the machine, and it will begin making humus blocks for you and planting trees in them. I only have the 1 engine going at this point, so it's kind of slow. But that's basically how it works. Maybe down the road I'll play with some of the other multiple farms that you can make. But for the time being, I'll probably just leave it as a tree farm and see what the output is compared to the tree farm I have on the other side. So I hope you enjoyed our little introduction to the farm blocks, and I'll see you next time.